If you're watching this, it is not by accident. Today, we are going to talk about something that is already happening in your life, whether you realize it or not. Manifestation. Not as a trendy buzzword, but as a science of creation, the soul's language and the spiritual technology that governs everything, your relationships, your finances, your health, your future. And it all comes down to the 12 universal eternal laws. These are not laws you vote on. These are not moral codes. They are principles that run the universe, like gravity, whether you believe it or not. So if you have ever wondered, why does it feel like you are doing all the right things but still not receiving the love you long for? Why does money slip through your fingers the moment it shows up? Why does your body hold on to illness or pain no matter how hard you try to heal? Let us bring light to that. Because once you understand how creation actually works, you stop forcing, you stop begging, you stop waiting, and you start creating. Let us begin with the most foundational law of all. One, the law of divine oneness. Everything is connected. Every thought, every action, every belief ripple into the field. You are not separate from the love you desire, the money you want, or the healing you seek. You are not out there. They are already within reach when you align with them. Hi, April. So when you say there are no good partners and I never have enough, the universe says, your wish is my command. Instead, what if you say, I am one with abundance, I am one with sacred love, I am one with radiant health? That makes the entire difference. The second law is the law of vibration. Everything has a frequency, just like music. Your emotions, your words, your thoughts are instruments. Love vibrates higher than fear. Gratitude vibrates higher than resentment. So if you want high vibe results, you must tune yourself to that frequency. In relationships, what are you broadcasting? Fear of abandonment or confidence in your worth? With money, are you vibrating in scarcity or expansion? In health, are you tuned to survival or vitality? Number 3 is the law of attraction. That's the most known of all because it has been broadcasted in the last century. Like attracts like. But it is not just about wishing. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are, what you believe, what you feel, what you live, you get more of. If you want a love that is safe, you must become safety for yourself first. If you want wealth, you must walk in the vibration of overflow, not survival. If you want radiant health, speak to yourself with reverence, not frustration. Number 4 is the law of correspondence. As within, so without. As above, so below. It keeps on being the same and it will continually circulate between the two. Your outer world reflects your inner landscape. So if chaos shows up in your life, pause and ask, where am I still chaotic within? Clean that up and the external world begins to shift. The law of inspired action. You are not meant to just sit and visualize all day. You are meant to take action, but not from desperation. Inspired action flows from alignment, from intuitive nudges. You do not need to know all the steps. Just take the soul-aligned one. Number 6, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Everything is always shifting. Nothing is stuck. Low frequencies can be transmuted into higher ones through love, through choice, through awareness. Your trauma is not fixed. Your bank account is not frozen in lack. Your heartbreak is not your destiny. Energy can and does move all the time. Number 7, the law of cause and effect. Every thought, every word, every action creates a ripple. You reap what you sow, not as a punishment, but as a reflection. So doubt, reap confusion. So belief, reap breakthrough. This is why healing matters, because your results are responding to your energetic causes. And when we talk about healing, we talk about energetic healing first, that will, as a consequence, ripple effect in your body, in your life, in your finances, in your circumstances, to actually bring the well-being you are longing for. Number 8, the law of compensation. You are always compensated for what you put into the world, sometimes financially, sometimes spiritually, sometimes emotionally, sometimes relationally, but always something. Now, if you block receiving, you block compensation. So many of us have been conditioned to overgive and under-receive. That must end now. Number 9 is the law of relativity. Your challenges are relative. They are not punishment. They are invitations to rise. Everything in life is here to help you expand. Your heartbreak is showing you where you still abandon yourself. Your debt is showing you where you have not yet owed your value. Did you hear me? Your debt is showing you where you have not yet owned your value. This is why you still have debts. Your pain is showing you what is ready to be healed and released so that you can return to wholeness. Number 10, the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. There is no light without dark. There is no love without fear. There is no wealth without poverty. But you get to choose where you place your focus, because where you focus on expands. If something is showing up that you do not want, look for what it is pointing you toward. Fear reveals the doorway to faith. The law of rhythm. Number 11. Life flows in cycles, like the moon, the seasons, the tides. Do not resist your winters. They are sacred. Do not chase eternal summers. That leads to burnout. Relationships, money, and health all follow rhythms. Your job is to honor the season you are in and prepare for what is next. Number 12, the law of gender. Masculine and feminine energies live in all of us. Healthy creation requires both. The masculine gives structure, action, direction. The feminine brings intuition, receptivity, and flow. In relationships, balance giving and receiving. In finances, balance planning and surrender. In health, balance discipline and rest. So let me ask you, what are you currently manifesting, consciously or unconsciously? What are you vibrating, expecting, and creating with your thoughts, your beliefs, your choices? And more importantly, what are you ready to align with now? Because when you align with the eternal laws of the universe, you are no longer hoping for love. You are attracting it. You are no longer chasing money. You are receiving it. You are no longer begging for health. You are embodying. So if this speaks to your soul, I invite you to join me at loveagain.me and explore what it means to live your life in harmony with the universe, not in resistance to it. Because you are not broken. You are powerful beyond measure. You are the master creator of your life, and your next chapter is ready whenever you are. My name is Gemma Serenity, and I speak words of blessings, love, and peace unto you and your loved one. Law number 1, the law of divine oneness. There is no separation, only resonance. Let us begin here, because everything starts here. The law of divine oneness is a foundational frequency of the entire universe. It says you are not separate from anything, not from love, not from abundance, not from healing, not from God, not even from the people you think have what you want. Everything is connected in the quantum field, everything. Let me illustrate this. Have you ever thought about someone you had not seen in years, and then they suddenly text or call? That is the law of divine oneness in action. You tapped into a shared frequency and it responded. This is also how you actually attract your ideal customer and attract your ideal partner, your special person. Because we are all threads in the same infinite tapestry. When you tug on one thread, the entire field shifts. So when you are manifesting love, money, or healing, you are not trying to get something from outside of you. You are remembering what is already connected to you. Here is a truth most people miss. You are already one with the love you desire. You are already one with a version of you who lives in overflow. You are already one with radiant, vibrant health. There is no gap, only disconnection from that knowing. And that disconnection, it comes from old stories, wounded conditioning, scarcity beliefs, trauma residues, but they are not the truth. They are illusions you absorbed in a world that forgot its own divine nature. Let me give you a relationship example. When you say, no one wants me, you are broadcasting separation from love. The field receives that as a comment. Stay disconnected. But when you say, I am one with sacred, respectful, passionate love, you begin to magnetize it. Not because you begged, but because you finally match the frequency of what was already yours. Same with money. If you keep saying, I don't have enough, you are reinforcing a belief of lack, a separation. But the moment you say, I am one with divine abundance, prosperity flows through me as a natural expression of my soul, you shift everything. Because the universe can only give you what you are willing to be one with. This is not wishful thinking. This is quantum alignment, and it works with health as well. When you constantly focus on what is wrong with your body, you reinforce the vibration of fragmentation. But when you begin to bless your body, thank your cells, your trillions of cells, and speak life in your bloodstream, so many liters we have of bloodstream, speak life into your bloodstream, you align with your innate wholeness. And you remember, you are not separate from your healing. You are its vessel. So let me ask you this. Where have you been thinking in separation? Where have you been unconsciously said, I cannot find love. Money does not come to me easily. My body is against me. And are you willing right now to shift that story? And here is your new story. I am not chasing. I am remembering. I am not begging. I am aligning. I am not separate. I am one. Let me close this law of divine oneness with this visual. Imagine the ocean. Now imagine scooping up a little cup of water from it. That cup is you, but the ocean is still within you. That is divine oneness. You are the expression of the infinite. You are not separate from source. You are source embodied in a body. So every time you desire something, ask, am I aligning with oneness, or am I vibrating in separation? And then choose again. If this awakens something in you, share this live, like, send me gifts, react, engage, speak in the chat. I will try to keep an eye on the chat. And Start aligning with the divine intelligence that already knows your name, your dreams, your path, your life, who you are meant to be, your soul purpose, and align with it, because that is the law of divine oneness, the first of the 12 universal laws. Divine oneness, a Christian perspective. In Him we live and move and have our being, that is found in Acts 17:28. At the heart of the Christian faith is a profound truth that God is not distant, God is within. From Genesis to Revelation, the message is clear. We are made in the image of God, and you can find that in Genesis 1:27. We are not separate from our Creator. We are His reflection, His temple, His breath made flesh. The law of divine oneness simply echoes a truth that Scripture has declared for millennia. In John 15:5, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. We are not beside God. We are not beneath God. We are in God, and God is in us. There is no separation. So when you long for love, you are not reaching for something outside yourself. You are responding to the image of divine love already imprinted within your spirit. When you long for financial provision, you are not chasing something God has withheld. You are aligning with the promise that God will supply all your needs according to His riches in glory. You can find that in Philippians 4:19. When you long for healing, you are not begging for mercy. You are activating the truth that by His wounds we are healed. That verse you can find in Isaiah 53:5. The divine oneness we speak of, His universal law, is fully reflected in Jesus Christ's teachings. I and the Father are one, John 10:30. Do you not know that you are God's temple and that God's Spirit dwells in you, 1 Corinthians 3:16. That is not a call to ego. It is a call to embodiment, to recognize that the divine is not just something to worship, it is something to live through. So, what does divine oneness look like in practice, in relationships? You begin to see your partner not just as a person, but as someone made in the image of God. Even their wounds are invitations to love more like Christ, who washed feet, forgave sinners, and lifted the broken heart. In finances, you release the lie of scarcity and root into the abundance of heaven. Jesus fed 5,000 people, men, plus women, plus children, with a few loaves and fish, not to impress, but to demonstrate that miraculous provision is a normal part of the kingdom. In health, you stop seeing your body as broken and start treating it as sacred. Your cells are God's craftsmanship, and through prayer, nourishment, and intention, you allow His healing to flow through you. Here is a revelation for you today. You are not praying for a faraway God. You are communing, being one with a God who lives within you. So if you feel unworthy, unloved, or unseen, pause. Because that is not the voice of God. That is the voice of disconnection. But the moment you say, Father, I remember who I am in you, you return to truth. You realign with divine oneness. Let me leave you with this. When Jesus taught us to pray, He began with our Father, not my God, not the God, our Father. A reminder that we are all connected, not just to each other, but to the same source of life and love. So every time you feel lost, you can come back to this eternal truth. I am one with God. God is one with me. I lack nothing. If this speaks to your soul, if you want to continue healing, aligning, and receiving through faith-based and spiritually intelligent mentorship, You are welcome to join me at loveagain.me. My name is Gemma Serenity and I speak love, words of blessings, love and peace unto you and your loved one. Divine oneness in Buddhism, the truth of interbeing. To be is to interbe, says Thich Nhat Hanh. In Buddhist philosophy, the law of divine oneness is beautifully reflected in the concept of interbeing, the understanding that everything exists in relation to everything else. You are not separate self. You are not an isolated being. You are a wave in the ocean of life, rising and falling with all that is. The flower is not just the petals. The flower is the sun, the rain, the soil, the gardener, the wind, the seasons. Without all of these, the flower could not bloom, right? And just like that flower, you are not separate from the people, conditions, and energies around you. You are in them, and they are in you. This is not poetic. This is spiritual reality. From a Buddhist view, oneness is not a concept, it is an experience. When you sit in meditation and your breath slows, you begin to feel that you are not your thoughts, you are not your pain, you are not even your name. You are awareness itself, woven into the fabric of all beings, all time, all life. This is what the Buddha realized under the Bodhi tree. Not that life is suffering, but that suffering ends the moment we awaken to our true nature, a nature that is not separate, but empty of self and full of everything. Okay, keep on coming, guys. And send me a few likes as well. That would help a lot. Divine oneness in relationships. In your relationships, this means that when your partner is hurting, you are hurting too. When they lash out, it is often a call for safety and love, not war. Interbeing reminds us that compassion is not weakness, it is wisdom. The more you understand your interconnectedness, the less you need to be right. And the more you begin to ask, what would bring peace to both of us? You stop arguing from ego and start relating from essence. Divine oneness in money, in finances, interbeing reminds us that wealth is not individual, it is relational. When you hoard, the system contracts. When you circulate, give and create value, you become the stream, not the dam. Buddhist teachings on generosity, which is called dana, affirms that giving is not about loss, it is about freedom. Every act of generosity, whether financial or energetic, ripples back to you through the web of life. And the more you trust what you give, you are giving to yourself. The more effortlessly prosperity flows. Now, divine oneness in health. In your health, divine oneness means that your body is not separate from your mind or spirit. When you carry resentment, your liver tightens. When you speak harshly to yourself, your cells feel it. When you breathe with reverence, your whole body relaxes into healing. Buddhist mindfulness invites you to return to your body not as a machine, but as a temple. Not as a battlefield, but as a beloved friend. Healing begins when you bow to your body and say, "Thank you for holding me through it all. I am listening now." Do you want some practice? Yeah, that would be good. Breathing into oneness. In Buddhist practice, we cultivate this awareness of oneness through breath, presence, and compassion. You can try this. Breathing in, I see myself in all things. Breathing out, I see all things in me. Breathing in, I see myself in all things. Breathing out, I see all things in me. This is how you reunite. When you practice this, not just as a mantra, but as a lived experience, your fear dissolves, your separation softens, and your heart opens to receive the truth of who you are. Not a drop in the ocean, but the ocean in a drop. So if you have felt disconnected or lost or separate from love, money, or healing, you are not broken. You have simply forgotten your place in the great web. And now through this teaching, you remember you are one with all. You are not alone. You are not behind. You are part of the sacred whole right here, right now. My cat is knocking at the door. So if this speaks to your soul and you want to explore how these timeless truths can help you rebuild love, peace, and empowerment after pain, join me at loveagain.me. My name is Gemma Serenity, and I speak words of blessings, love, and peace unto you and your loved one. You know, when you actually observe, and instead of just choosing one school of thoughts, one religion, one truth, but you actually start to really look at what you are understanding from life, from different school of thoughts, from Christian, from Buddhism, from the Vedic school of thoughts, Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Gita, the Vedanta, yoga, Sanatana Dharma, and all these other things, you actually expand your understanding of what life is about, and you expand your ability to be completely present with all the universal laws. Divine oneness in the Vedic tradition. All that exists is God or Krishna alone. And that is in the Bhagavad Gita 7:19. In the ancient Vedic wisdom passed down for thousands of years, not just 2,000, many more thousands, the foundational truth is clear. There is only one, and that one is manifested in all. The law of divine oneness is not a theory, it is the heart of all Vedic realization. It is the understanding that behind all diversity is a singular, eternal, divine essence called Brahman, Krishna, the Supreme Soul. You and I, we are not separate from that source. We are expressions of it, called Jiva Atma, which means individual soul, woven into the infinite cosmic play known as Lila. You are not separate, you are a spark of the divine. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, the soul is eternal. It is never born and never dies. It cannot be destroyed. And that is chapter 2, verse 20. What does this mean in the context of manifestation? It means that what you are seeking, such as love, abundance, or vitality, is already within you, because you are not just human, you are divine energy in human form. Your soul, called Atman, is never apart from the Supreme Soul, the Paramatma. You are a spark of Krishna. You are not the body, not the mind, not the ego. You are the witness, the knower, the infinite self. And so is everyone you meet. Divine oneness in relationships. When you understand oneness through Krishna's eyes, relationships transform. You no longer love others with attachment, fear, or control. You begin to love them as embodiment of the divine. He is the same to all beings. He who worships me with devotion, I am in him and he is in me. That is chapter 9, verse 29. Every soul, no matter how wounded or flawed, is on the same path back to union. So you stop trying to change others and start recognizing God in them. This is called seva, sacred service. When you serve your beloved, your family, your community from this place, love becomes unconditional and egoless. It becomes bhakti, the highest love. Divine oneness in finances. Vedic wisdom teaches that abundance is a form of Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity, who flows where gratitude, dharma, and devotion reside. When you think that you are separate from money, you fall into Maya, the illusion that you must strive, hustle, and compete. But when you see money as energy gifted by the divine for your purpose, you stop clinging and start receiving. Krishna tells us, to those who are constantly devoted and who worship me, with a big M, with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me, with a big M. And that's the Bhagavad Gita 10:10. When your wealth is aligned with your devotion and your service, it flows with grace. You do not have to manipulate energy, you harmonize with it. You become a conscious steward of prosperity, using it to uplift, nourish, and serve the higher good. Divine oneness in health. In Ayurveda, Yoga, and Sankhya, the body is seen as a temple of the divine. The 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, combine uniquely to form your Prakriti, your sacred constitution. When your health is out of balance, it is not punishment. It is a whisper from the soul inviting you to realign with Sattva, which is purity, Prana, which is life force, and Dharma, which is right living. When you see your body as divine, you begin to treat it with devotion, not frustration. You eat with gratitude. You move with reverence. You rest with trust. And you remember, this is not my body. This is Krishna's dwelling. Let me keep it vibrant so that I may serve. Divine oneness as a yogic realization. In Vedanta, the highest realization is Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. This does not mean that you are the all-powerful creator in ego. It means that the self in you is the same self in all. This realization is the fruit of meditation, devotion, and inner silence. You begin to see beyond form, beyond personality, beyond duality. You no longer live from I and mine, you live from we and one. Here is how you can practice Bhakti plus breath. When you feel disconnected from love, from money, from your body, or from your purpose, come back to this breath. Inhale, I am one with Krishna. Exhale, Krishna is one with me. Inhale, I trust the divine order. Exhale, I walk in sacred grace. Repeat until you feel peace return. Until you remember that you are not alone, you are not lacking, you are not forgotten. You are the child of the divine, born to express divine beauty in human form. Divine oneness is not a philosophy, it is a way of being. It is remembering that every soul is divine, every breath is sacred, every desire is holy. So the next time you ask for something, love, money, healing, ask as a co-creator, not a beggar. Ask with reverence, ask with faith, and then surrender the outcome to Krishna, trusting in divine timing and dharmic flow. If this touches your soul and you are ready to live aligned with this divine wisdom in love, money, health, and purpose, come join me at loveagain.me. My name is Gemma Serenity, and I speak words of blessings, love, and peace unto you and your loved ones. Divine oneness in Islam, Tawhid, the essence of unity. Say, He is Allah, the One. And that is Surah Al-Ikhlas 112:1. In Islam, the foundation of all spiritual understanding is Tawhid, the belief in the oneness of Allah. But this is not simply a theological idea, it is a living truth that shapes your view of yourself, your world, and your relationships, your wealth and your health. It means there is no power but Allah. There is no source but Allah. There is no separation because all that exists is by Him, through Him, and sustained in Him. You noticed how much it's quite amazing. Every religion and school of thoughts all come back to that same truth. We are not individual beings living alone in isolation. We are all one with Source, and we call Source Krishna, Allah, God, Buddha, whatever you want. Dharma, Krishna, whatever. And in that case of Islam, it's all about Allah. Okay. That just means that Allah is the name of Source. Everything in creation is a reflection of divine will. And the soul's journey is to return to remembrance of that unity. There is a verse, to Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth. And that is from the Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 284. You are not separate from Source. In Islamic spirituality, the divine oneness is not about God being one. It is about you remembering that your life, your breath, your body, your provisions, your love, all of it originates from the same source. Surah Kaf says, chapter 50, verse 16, we are closer to the human than his jugular vein. And jugular vein is quite essential, but we are closer to the human than his jugular vein. Really says it all. We are one in human, and human is one in us, or me. This verse is not metaphorical, it is literal living truth. Allah is not far from you. He is closer than your breath. He is the light in your heart, the stillness in your prayers, the answer before the question. So when you feel broken, empty, unloved, or disconnected from your purpose, you are not being punished. You are being invited to remember. That is what Dhikr means, remembrance. Remembering that you were never alone in the first place. That divine oneness is the ground beneath your feet and the sky above your dreams. So when you are crying alone in your room, drowning in depression, and you don't know what tomorrow holds, remember that you are one with the divine within you. And that when you cry and you hurt, God hurts. And when you are joyous, God is joyous. Because of the law of divine oneness. Divine oneness in relationships. In Islam, marriage is a sacred contract, a divine trust, a mirror of Allah's mercy. Surah Ar-Rum, chapter 30, verse 21. And of his signs is that he created for you mates from among yourselves, that you may find tranquility in them, and he placed between you affection and mercy. Love in Islam is not ownership. It is Rahma, meaning mercy, Mawada, meaning affection, and Sakina, meaning peace. Mercy, affection, and peace. That is what love means in Islam. You do not seek completion in a partner because you are already whole in Allah. You do not chase validation because your worth was written before you were born. When you see your beloved as a soul entrusted to you by the divine, you approach love with reverence, patience, and deep accountability. That is divine oneness in action, to love another as a reflection of God's love for you. Let's talk about divine oneness in finances. Wealth in Islam is not seen as a result of luck or hustle. It is trust from Allah and a means of service. It is Allah who enriches and impoverishes, says that you can find in Surah An-Najm, chapter 53, verse 48. Divine oneness in finances means you release scarcity because Allah is Al-Razak, meaning the provider. You stop comparing because provision is decreed with wisdom. You give generously because what you give is never lost. Whatever you give, he will replace it. And he is the best of providers. You can find this verse in Surah Saba, chapter 34, verse 39. In Islam, every act of giving is recorded, multiplied, and returned, spiritually or materially. Your provision is not dependent on the market. It flows through divine decree, through alignment with ethics, halal, intention, niyyah, and trust, tawakkul. Now, let's talk about divine oneness in health with the lens of Islam. The human body is described as a sacred trust, which is amana. Your body is not just biology, it is a loan from the Creator. He who created everything in the best of forms. And you can find that in Surah At-Tin, chapter 95, verse 4. When you hurt, when you are sick, when you feel exhausted, Allah knows. Every cell is in divine awareness, and even in pain, there is purpose. Do not lose hope, nor be sad. You will surely triumph if you are believers. And you can find that in Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 139. Divine oneness in health means you treat your body with honor. You seek healing from a place of surrender, not fear. You remember that every hardship removes sins and elevates your station. Illness becomes not a punishment but a purification. Healing becomes not just physical but spiritual alignment with the will of Allah. Living in Tawhid, a daily practice. To align with the law of divine oneness from the Islamic view is to live in remembrance, meaning dhikr. There is no God but Allah. Trust, tawakkul, Allah is sufficient for me. And submission, Islam, not my will but yours. So you realize that the word Islam already means submission because you submit not my will but yours. Allah, God, who is one, who is the source. Every choice, every desire, every breath becomes sacred when it flows through awareness of the one behind all things. You are not a mistake. You are not forgotten. You are the Abd, meaning servant, and the Khalifa, meaning the steward of the divine. So walk with dignity, speak with mercy, and manifest with full knowing that everything you ask for in alignment with divine timing and divine will is already on its way to you because you are not separate. You are one with the source of all things. If this resonates with your heart and you want to go deeper into living from divine alignment in love, healing, abundance, I invite you to join me at loveagain.me. My name is Gemma Serenity and I speak words of blessings, love and peace unto you and your loved one. Through the lens of Judaism, divine oneness honors Jewish theology, mysticism, and ethics while linking this sacred worldview to love, money, and healing, and divine embodiment. Divine oneness in Judaism, Eshad, meaning God is one, all is sacred. Again, it's all one and the same. That's quite amazing. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Eshad, which means, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you can find that in Deuteronomy 6:4. In Judaism, the cornerstone of all spiritual practice is the Shema. It is more than a prayer, it is a declaration of truth, a whispered knowing that has passed through generations, through suffering and survival, through exile and return. God is one, and all of creation flows from this oneness. This is not just monotheism, it is unity consciousness, not in abstract terms, but in the fabric of life. God is not only the creator, God is the animating essence of all of this. There is no true division between sacred and secular. All is part of the divine tapestry. All is connected in purpose and meaning. You know, Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning God created. Creation itself is an act of divine expression, and we as human beings were formed at that divine image. You know Genesis 1:26, let us make humankind in our image, after our likeness. You are not separate from God. You are a reflection of the divine. You are a co-creator, endowed with neshama, a breath of holy fire. And that is what the law of divine oneness is in Judaism, a remembering, a return, a reconnection to the holy spark within all things. Oneness in love and relationships, B'Tselem Elohim, the Jewish teaching that every human is made B'Tselem Elohim, meaning in the image of God, is not symbolic, it is radical truth. It means when you look at your partner, your child, your neighbor, even your enemy, you are looking into the face of God. So love becomes sacred not because it is romantic, but because of it is a divine recognition. You do not love people based on how they behave. You love them based on who they are, a living embodiment of the One. This transforms relationships from transactional to transformational. It invites respect over control, compassion over judgment, repair over rejection. Love your neighbor as yourself. You can find that in Leviticus 19:18. Not because it feels good, but because it honors the oneness we all share. Oneness in wealth and provision, tzedakah and trust. In Jewish tradition, money is not a private possession, it is a tool of divine purpose. The Hebrew word for charity is not charity. Okay. Where are we? Oneness in wealth and provision, tzedakah and trust. In Jewish tradition, money is not a private possession, it is a tool of divine purpose. The Hebrew word for charity is not charity, it is tzedakah, which means justice. So charity means justice. You give not because you have excess, but because you are part of a collective soul. You know, Haggai 2:8 says, the silver is mine and the gold is mine, says the Lord. So when you really understand that, it means you do not hoard because it is not yours alone. You do not fear lack because the source is infinite. You circulate money with conscious purpose, knowing you are a vessel of divine provision. Wealth becomes a mean of tikkun olam, repairing the world. When you thrive and uplift others, you are restoring balance to the sacred order. Oneness in health and healing, shalom bait within the body. In Judaism, shalom does not only mean peace, it means wholeness. And healing is a return to that wholeness, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You are not separate parts. You are a holy unity, body, mind, soul. I am the Lord, your healer. You can find that in Exodus 15:26. Judaism honors the body as a divine creation, a mikdash me'at, a small sanctuary. So caring for your health is not vanity, it is spiritual stewardship. When you eat mindfully, rest when needed, and speak kindly to your body, you are participating in divine oneness. Let me put that in the chat, because that is really major as an understanding. You are saying to yourselves, I remember you are holy and I will treat you as such. Oneness through tikkun olam, repairing the world. Judaism teaches that the world is incomplete and that you were born to help repair it. That work is called tikkun olam, literally the repair of the world. You do not do it by striving, you do it by remembering. You are not alone. You are not powerless. Every act of kindness, truth, and alignment is a stitch in the fabric of wholeness. When you forgive, you restore oneness. When you share, you restore oneness. When you heal yourself, you heal a corner of the world. The world stands on three things: Torah, service, and loving kindness. And that is Pirkei Avot, number 1, 3. Living in divine oneness is Jewish practice. To align with oneness in Judaism is to live with Kavana, sacred intention. Teshuvah, return to truth. Shabbat, a sacred pause that reminds you are not your productivity. And every time you light a candle, break bread, or bless the moment, you are saying, God is one and I am part of that oneness. You were not born to carry the world alone. You were born to restore your piece of it with love, with wisdom, with sacred responsibility. You are not separate. You are B'Dlezem Elohim. You are a vessel of divine oneness in motion. If this speaks to your soul and you are ready to experience this sacred alignment in your heart, your love, life, your purpose, and your prosperity, come join me at loveagain.me. My name is Gemma Serenity and I speak love, words of blessings, love, and peace unto you and your loved one. Divine oneness in Taoism is a way that cannot be named. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. You can find that in Tao Te Ching, chapter 1. In Taoism, the love divine oneness is not something to be believed. It is something to be embodied. The Tao or Tao is not a person, a deity, or a doctrine. The Tao is it is the way, the unnameable essence that gives rise to all life, yet cannot be grasped by the mind. It is the silent force behind the wind, the intelligence in a tree's roots, the harmony in a flowing river, the stillness between your breaths. It is the original oneness before separation, judgment, striving, or identity. All things carry yin and embrace yang. They achieve harmony by balancing these energies. You can find that in Tao Te Ching, chapter 42. This is oneness in Taoism. Wholeness through balance, divinity through flow, truth through surrender. I should do a doctor in divinity. I would love that. You are not separate. You are part of the Tao. You are not a drop in the stream. You are the stream expressing itself as a drop. Taoist wisdom teaches that resistance creates suffering. Not because life is cruel, but because resistance pulls you out of alignment with the natural flow of existence. When you try to control, force, or push against life, you disconnect from Tao. When you surrender, listen, or move in harmony, you return to Tao. This is why Taoism does not speak of manifesting through effort. It speaks through Wu Wei, meaning effortless action. Not laziness, but alignment, acting without strain, moving like water, responding like the moon. Oneness in relationships, it is yin and yang in sacred dance. In Taoist philosophy, love is not domination or sacrifice, it is balance. Yin and yang are not opposites in conflict, they are complementary forces that complete one another. Yin is soft, receptive, intuitive, emotional. Yang is strong, focused, directive, active. In sacred partnership, both are needed, not by gender, but by energy. When a relationship is off balance, it is often because one force has overtaken the other. Tao teaches you to return to center, to stop blaming, forcing, or overgiving, and to start listening, softening, realigning. Love is not won, it is cultivated like a garden with presence, patience, and harmony. The soft overcomes the hard, the yielding overcomes the rigid. You can find that verse in Tao Te Ching, chapter 36. So ask yourself, am I loving with force or with flow? Oneness in finances, prosperity without push. Taoism sees wealth not as accumulation but as circulation. Money is energy, and energy is governed by flow. So when you grasp too tightly, you create stagnation. And when you spend without presence, you create leakage. When you flow with awareness, generosity, and trust, you enter Tao in abundance. Those who know when enough is enough will always have enough. You can find that in Tao Te Ching, chapter 44. This does not mean denying wealth. It means relating to it from simplicity, grace, and alignment. When you work from your essence, not your ego. When your business serves the greater good. When your decisions arise from your inner knowing, prosperity becomes natural, not effortful. You stop chasing, you start magnetizing, because you are no longer hustling against Tao. You are dancing with it. Oneness in health, returning to the rhythm of life. In Taoism, the body is not a machine to be fixed. It is a garden to be tended, a river to be cleared, a temple of the Tao. Illness is not punishment. It is a message, it is a sign you have drifted from your natural rhythm. The body speaks through imbalance, and healing is not a cure, it is a return. To sleep in harmony with the moon, to eat in rhythm with the seasons, to move as the body desires, not through punishment but through presence. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. You can find that in Tao Te Ching chapter 16. Your health is a mirror, and oneness means remembering that your body is not separate from your soul, your emotions, or the world around you. When you honor the whole, the body heals itself. Divine oneness as non-duality, the empty fullness. In Taoism, ultimate truth is non-dual. There is no good or bad, success or failure, light or dark. There is only the sacred rhythm of contrast. One cannot exist without the other. You find wholeness by including everything, not by escaping the dark. Tao invites you to become the sky, where both sun and storm are welcome, and nothing is denied its place. That is divine oneness in Taoism, a life where nothing is forced and nothing is missing. Only the way, only the flow, only the now. So you want a practice? Return to the Tao. When you feel disconnected, try this. Inhale. I flow with the way. Exhale. I release resistance. Inhale. I trust life's rhythm. Exhale. I return to harmony. And then do nothing. Just listen. Just be. Let the Tao speak. It always will. If this awakening resonates with your soul and you desire to experience love, wealth, health, and fulfillment through alignment, not effort, I invite you to the journey deeper with me at loveagain.me. My name is Gemma Serenity, and I speak words of blessings, love, and peace unto you and your loved ones.